We'll call the meeting to order. Uh, Dr. Bridges, want to give us a prayer, please?
Yes, sir. Let's pray. Father, we come to give you thanks, praise, honor, glory. Again, God, for another opportunity to come and serve in this capacity and free knowledge to allow us to, Father God, conduct this business, Father God, with integrity, Lord God, and that you will be pleased, Father God. Help us continue to bless the district, Father God, and bless all the students who are now home for the summer, Father God. We thank you for another successful year, and next year we're declaring even greater. We love you, we honor you, and we adore you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Public pages.
Mr. Page, before we get started, can I just ask that everybody remember to keep Shemaiah Jefferson's family and friends in prayer? Her funeral will be tomorrow in the gym at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
Absolutely. Yes, please do. Thanks for that.
Yes, sir.
Public comments. We have no public comments. Attorney search. We have one in the room with us today.
We do. Need it.
All right. We have a proposal.
The who?
Proposal dash. So we can get started. Mr. Marvin, how you doing?
Hi, thanks. Let me introduce myself. My name is Marvin Vining. I've been almost a lifelong Lawrence County resident. My family moved here when I was 2 or 3 years old, something like that. Born in Jackson.
How long you been an attorney, Mr. Marvin? 34 years, something like that. Licensed around 1989, 90, something like that. Do you have any experience in school attorney?
I've never done that before. I do a lot of litigation, mostly civil rights stuff. I have a nationwide practice. I'm associated with Morgan & Morgan. I'm a practice partner there. So what I do is I associate attorneys pro hac vici in every state. So I've got states, cases in probably 5 or 6 states. Mainly do it's called 1983 civil rights work. So
Keep you busy.
yeah.
Music, you got a question you want to ask, Mr. Marvin? Mr. Stick?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
what would be your income? What would you expect us to pay?
Well, that's a
Or
good
how
question.
much?
Yes, I spoke with Jared. He's the outgoing attorney, and
Yeah.
he said he generally put in about 20 hours a month. I think the problem is he said he had to resign because he had other duties that was pulling him away. So, and he was pulling a salary, if I'm not mistaken, about 2,400 a month, something like that, or 24,000 a year spread over.
19 a month, 23K a year.
Yeah, 23K a year spread over it, right? Yeah, something like that. So, I think I quoted 100 an hour in my bid. I could absolutely work for that. But what you might want to consider is maybe put me on some sort of, monthly salary against a retainer like that. If he's pulling 20 hours, I would ideally like to get hired on as a part-time PERS employee so I can get some insurance. That would be great if I could do that. I don't know if that's available. I think Jared said he didn't do that. But anyway, he said, I don't know what his billing rate was, like 150 or something like that, but he also said he billed for litigation, so that would come up, and I have a question about that, by the way. I really need to know who the client is. By that I mean, I assume I work for the school board, but I understand there's sometimes intra-school board litigation issues that come up from time to time. So I would be curious, do I work for the board as a quorum, or Is there a specific person I answer to? You know, that kind of thing. I'm just curious as to actually who the client would be and how I would determine who I represent as opposed to,
The
you know,
board has a quorum,
and
and
a court. Gotcha.
any litigation pending against Lawrence County School District or directed at the board.
Gotcha. So I represent the board, keep the board out of trouble.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Gotcha.
And in that, of course, any contracts that the superintendent would, push across our desk would have, come by you first.
Absolutely, right. I have friends of mine who have companies and so forth. I do a lot of contract review.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, did you say you would work for, something similar to what Jared was working for?
That'd be fine, sure, I could work with it.
Okay, and so and he said that he quoted about 20 hours a month. Within that, the contracts and calls from different board members, that would be included in that. The only thing extra bill for if you had to write a brief, litigation, something like that.
Exactly.
And that would be
100 an hour.
100 an hour.
Yeah.
So 23K. Now, he did ask for PERS. I can't remember what reason we declined it, but we declined it. And I just can't remember.
I would just have to question the legality of that, being a PERS employee, being an employee of the district.
That would make
Is
the
that a
employee of the
conflict?
district. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's why we declined it.
Oh, I see, conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be the only question I have. Like you said, you got 30 years in, but you do have some education litigation in the background, so
I do.
absolutely.
Of course, I was raised a litigator. My father, Francis Vining, some of you may know, he practiced 40 years. He was attorney for the Lawrence County Board, the Board of Supervisors. And so he did that for like 40 years,
Yeah.
something like that. Anyway.
Now, Evans attended most board meetings. He wasn't away doing other stuff. Is that gonna be all inclusive of what you're telling me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No extra charge for attending board meetings.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm currently suing the Hinds County Board of Supervisors. And what's interesting about that, my dad was attorney for the board all those years, and he would keep the board out of trouble. He would keep them out of litigation, and, they followed it. The interesting thing about Hinds County is those attorneys are so eager for that job that they do whatever the board tells them to do, and it winds them up in a lot of litigation. So just saying, I'm here to keep the board out of litigation. I see that as my primary job.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
Let's see if I have anything else. You don't. Jared, and I don't know if this was a requirement by the state or something he decided to do, but he paid for his own credit hours from
Oh,
his
Sealy.
SBA.
I take care of that.
Okay, I didn't know that, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I have practice on the side, so the way I look at it is I gotta do it anyway.
He fell out with him about something, so you might wanna ask him what happened. He did tell me, but it just skips my mind, something
Okay.
they did or said, and he didn't like it.
Yeah, I talked to him, we talked about an hour or so on the telephone, and, I think I got, the basic gist of it. He did say that I think that the main ongoing litigation we have is a redistricting issue, of course. And he also talked about the possibility of a county-wide consolidation. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think Topeka and New Hebron's ever going to give up their schools.
There's not for you to think that.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't have a dog in that hunt, like you said. Yeah, I'll just represent the board. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do.
Yeah, and we're still on the consent decree.
Right.
You're aware of that.
Right.
That's it for me.
That's all I
Mr.
have.
Taylor.
All right, let me add that I would really enjoy working for the board. I would like to give something back to the community. My dad was a public servant all those years, and I never did do it because I was living out of town all this. I've lived in Memphis and Jackson, Byram, off and on through the years. We moved back here about 20-some years ago, I guess.
Last thing, I don't know if the word at will is the term I want to use, but it was Jared to leave anytime he got ready, or we could decide to release. So is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, no, any contract can be modified by the parties.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Any contract can be modified, but Mississippi is an at-will state, so,
Right.
there's no guarantee, sure, I get it.
Gotcha.
I'll stay as long as I can.
Yeah. Well, we thank you, Ms. Martin, for coming in. If there's anything else we need, we'll give you a call.
That's great. Thank you. Appreciate y'all here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You too, be safe.
Oh, it was 1:30, wasn't
Yeah, he actually is, he said he was getting out of a judge's office and he called, he's gonna be about 5 minutes late, so about 1:35.
it? Okay.
We can go.
We'll just go to the next one. Number 4, presentation of FY '24 final allocation and FY '25 allocation for federal programs. Ms. Christie, have we done?
Good afternoon. We finally received our final FY '24 allocation for title fund, so I just kind of wanted to give y'all an update on that. For Title I, our final allocation was $724,387. We only lost $39 on that one, so we're happy with that. Title II was $117,916. We actually gained $422 there. Title IV was $56,807. There was no change for Title IV. Title V was $52,599, which we actually gained $5,542. So we're pleased with that, especially considering some districts were cut hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we can handle $39.
All right.
On the back is FY '25. At this point, MDE is, they have told us to just plan for 85% of what we received last year. I don't want to say it's the preliminary allocation because they're calling it planning. But as you can tell, that 85% is a big hit to us. So, the plan has been submitted and it has made its way through one approval already, so we are waiting for the second approval. But hopefully we're going to get more money. But I did want y'all to be aware of what was going on. So, y'all have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Christie. All right, make a motion to approve 7.1 through.
So number 5.
Number 5, first
What
one.
about
I'm sorry, skip. Number 5, request approval of staff handbook.
Move.
Section.
I ain't seen it, but I guess it's all good.
Number 5.
Number 5. I said, I hadn't seen this, have I seen the staff handbook?
I hadn't seen it either, but
It should have been on your attachments when Michelle sent it out, but it's
Okay.
not much, if any different than it was last year. There's no major changes.
I wouldn't think so. All right, Murphy.
All right, it was moved by Ms. Mildred, second by Murphy, for vote. 4. Number 6, discuss pay for income of superintendent for the month of June. No action was taken there. Now we have 7.
Yeah.
All right. And motion approved of 7.1 through 7.9.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Bridges, second by Ms. Mildred. Vote. 4. All right. Number 8, executive session.
I move we go into closed session to determine the student transfer.
Second.
All right. Moved by Dr. Bridges, second by Ms. Mildred. Thank you.
until Ryan?
We're back in open
That's what I
session.
wanna do, or y'all just wanna sit here?
You
I
want
mean, we're gonna
to
sit here either way,
Yeah,
but we can recess.
yeah, we go offline on.
Yeah, I said we need to recess.
Alright, second. Let's vote. 4.
So we come back to reset.
Okay, we're back in session. Back on attorney search, Mr. Nathan.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Great. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduction, I guess. Mr. Daly, he said a couple words, but we want to hear from the master.
My name's Nathaniel Armstead. My office is in Brookhaven. I'm originally from Columbus, Mississippi, not Columbia, from Columbus, New Hope, from New Hope, yeah, Lowndes County. Went to law school at Mississippi College. Went to undergrad at Arkansas Monticello, small school in Southeast Arkansas. Been practicing law for about 27 or 28 years, about 22 years been school law. I've been a hearing officer for maybe 40 or 50 districts in the state of Mississippi. That's where I do the non-renewal hearings and stuff. I represent, as you've seen my resume, several districts throughout the state. My wife is from Bassfield. That's pretty much it. Got 3 children, 2 in college, and one is still in school. My wife is a librarian at Weston High School. Her first teaching assignment was under Dr. Farrell here in Lawrence County. She used to work, I think, for Tammy Fairburn. I think Tammy was the superintendent when she hired Kendra. So, working Jeff Davis, worked for a while with John. Since 2007, I think. I think I started Jeff Davis in 2007. I still work there. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty. I know people everywhere. So that's pretty much me. Unless y'all need to know something else more specific.
Great. How many years you say you've been in school?
Oh goodness. I think since 2000 and what, 1 or 2, I think. Yeah. I think I've been since 2002.
Well, good. I know my previous attorney, he was working on the was it $23,000 a year out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was at $23,000 a year, roughly $1,900 a month, a little bit over $1,900 a month. So we're in that ballpark. So would that be something that you'd be willing to take on hand? I know I don't have you proposed in front of me. I forgot what was all on it. Do you remember Dr. Bridges for his proposal?
I don't. I was going to ask him to restate what his RFP stated. And to piggyback off what you said on Mr. Evans, our own attorney, it was 23 a year, 19 a month, and his fee for any type of litigation, I think, was 175. Do you live in Brookhaven?
I live in Wesson. It's where Copilot Lincoln Community College is. It's the Beauregard. It's a little community called
Yes,
Beauregard.
I know Beauregard. Yes,
Okay.
So is it any wiggle room in the negotiation to represent us, or is that just?
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Okay. I'm assuming y'all trying to get the bill around the $2,000 a month range. Is that fair to say?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, I can't speak. I'm not speaking for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where we work.
I can try my best to make that work. And let me tell you why I say that. Because you all dictate what the bill is. My job as the board attorney is to protect you by working with the superintendent, in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
And some things you won't on my list of, because I'll have a list of everything pretty much that I do and how much time goes into it. But if it's going to exceed $2,000, whoever is the board president, I'll call them and say, we got this going on, and I can push it to next month. I think I can make that work. I'll do the best I can to make that work. Now, if we get litigation going on, it goes up in different ways. If we have litigation, like where I do a non-renewal hearing or something, what I try my best to do is get them resolved rather than having a full-blown hearing, if we can resolve it. Now, if we got a terrorist over at the school, ain't doing nothing and just harassing folks, they got to go, and we may have to do a hearing. But, so like I said, I'll do the best I can to make that work. But again, that depends on you. And some superintendents, sometimes when they're first getting started, they don't know what they don't know. So that caused me to have to do more. So, but I'll do the best I can to keep it in that range, but I don't want to misrepresent anything.
Understood.
Is that fair? I mean,
That
yeah.
sounds fair enough. The other question is now, I've been here 9 years, so when I first got here, I was represented by Mr. Keith and his firm, and then the local couple took over. So he was here every meeting. So I know you got all these districts, you represent, there's no way you could slingshot all around the state. So are you available by phone? Is that an extra fee if we're having a meeting?
I come to the board meetings.
Oh, is that right?
Now, if y'all have a special call board meeting every 2 weeks, I ain't gonna get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying, generally, yeah, I know, I go to the Clarkston, I go to every board meeting that I have.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that all inclusive of the $2 grand you're talking about, or is that travel?
No. I'm not gonna charge you for coming to board meetings.
Okay.
But like I said, now, if we have 9 board meetings in the month of June,
I get it.
we're gonna have to talk a little bit.
I'm saying we're gonna have that problem.
Oh, okay, I'm just being.
You know,
We
one
get
way.
rid of-
We
Talk.
Yeah.
That's why we getting rid of 9 meetings a month. No, I'm just kidding.
don't even want us to have a special board meeting right now in the month. Why we
I mean,
have-
after 6 board meetings, it ain't special no more, it's just a board meeting.
I think we got 3 days left.
Yeah, that's.
But anytime y'all have something, I'll be available. Some of the, like if you have to do a non-renewal, a suspension, a termination, I would rather draft those. I need to coordinate with the superintendent to get the letters drafted, because everything that goes into that goes into the process of making sure we don't have to have a hearing. Okay, the people who they got on video selling drugs plead guilty. You see what I mean? Once you show them the information, and as lawyers, we operate like this. If you won't listen to the folks who paying you, you'll listen to the person who you paying. So once we give the information to their lawyer, they can sit down and say, you need to resign or you need to do this. But my primary job is to protect you, okay? I'm no oil change rather than the new motor. I mean, you don't buy a new car and then let it tear up and say, okay, we in new car mode. No, we're not gonna have a bunch of cars sitting around in the yard that don't run. My job is the oil change rather than the new motor. And the only way I can do that is to communicate with the superintendent.
Got any more questions? Got some of the stuff? It's all right.
I'm good.
Dr. Bridges, you have any more?
I don't guess. Did you mention if we got the litigation, what that fee would be per hour?
$125 per hour. And now, and if we get in litigation has 2 different things. For non-renewal hearings and stuff like that, like I said, we do a lot of preventive maintenance work where we can, and most of it ain't but like 3 or 4 MAE lawyers, so I can work with them pretty good to try to get a lot of those resolved. Secondly, once we do that, we cut off court reporter fees, and we also cut off hearing officer reporter fees if you all can't handle the hearing. So, and we put money back into district maintenance. When teachers are no longer employed, or we free the superintendent up to hire other people. The other thing I was gonna say is, sometimes the insurance company, if they defend us under a reservation of rights, we get to choose the lawyer who we deal with. If they don't do it under a reservation of rights, they pick the lawyer. And that lawyer charges the district up until our deductible. So if there is investigative things that I can come down here and do for my lower rate, rather than the $400 rate or $250 rate, I'll do some of those things to keep the deductible. Am I making sense? In the range to try to save. It helps me to be cost efficient for you all.
Right. My last question, Mr. Counselor, is would you be willing to do month to month in terms of you can say I'm tired of y'all, Orange County, I'm leaving?
Well, here's the deal. I would ask y'all to give me some notice. That way I won't turn down another board meeting. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
And anytime a majority of the board no longer wants the board attorney, like if y'all just get mad because y'all, I'm not saying what y'all want to hear or something like that,
Right.
y'all can fire me anytime. That's the right you all have. Because anytime a majority of the board no longer wants to turn it, it creates an immediate conflict of interest.
I promise, that's it. I'm a Baptist preacher, but I ain't closing no more. That's it.
Well, we appreciate you coming out, Mr. Nathan. You have any questions, or we have any more questions for you, we'll give you a call. So, you have anything for us?
No, I just, like I said, and whatever I need to do to help, let me know. Seriously, if y'all, whatever I need to do to help, I don't mind helping until you all, if y'all decide, Nate, we don't want to deal with you, but we want to find somebody else. Tell me what to do to help. I'm a public servant, and I've been in the school business for a while.
Absolutely.
And I just didn't want to see a district this local without counsel, because you guys make roughly $188 a month, and your reputation is on the line, and that's the thought that went through my head.
Right. Okay,
Thank you so much.
we
All right.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right.
too.
All right, John.
I'm very impressed with them.
So we need to go, into executive and discuss this matter?
This is something we wanted to tell them today, absolutely.
Yeah, we need, if you guys find with it, we can go ahead and take care of that.
Fine with me, I don't have a problem with it.
So I need.
I move we go to executive session.
Second.
All right.
We're going hang on.
Trees, saying the thing,
Yes, sir.
All right, we voted to extend the offer to Mr. Nathaniel Olmsted for attorney. What else we got?
I move to adjourn.
And I second.
All right, let's vote on it. Ms. Burrow?